yeah. Banter brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers. Yeah. Banter brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers. Yeah. Trash talking, who the best? Who make good or bad trades? Who pick the best players? Who got certified game? We just football lovers. Come and join the funny games with the banter brothers. Banter brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers. Banter brothers, banter brothers, banter brothers. You're now tuned in to the Banter Brothers with your host Brian Paulo and his co-host Nick Johnson, coming at you live with this week's fantasy football highlights and trash talk. Banter Brothers, Banter Brothers, Banter Brothers. Banter Brothers, Banter Brothers, Banter Brothers.
Hey. This is very strange.
This is bananas. Look, this is the first time we're doing this.
Yeah, I don't like to usually be in the same room as him. But unfortunately, Brian moved up to a place where they have trees and chipmunks and not a whole lot of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, internet's a little dodgy.
Yeah, so we're going to try and talk to the computer instead of to each other.
This is going to be an interesting thing, how we're going to do this.
It's going to be very interesting. But we're back, and so is the season. And just in case you need some recap, bam.
There it is.
And there's the trophy right back there. Welcome, everybody.
What do you want to talk about now?
What should we talk about? Should we talk about, well, let's see. We're about 2 weeks out now from the season. 1 week out from keeper deadline.
Keeper deadline.
So I sent out a text message last week offering my services, to which, of course, nobody wants to take me up on that, which is not surprising at all. But if you do reconsider, you got essentially till tomorrow to let me know, because I'm going away on vacation. That's how confident I am about this upcoming season. I don't even need to prepare for this.
You hear this, folks?
I'm going on vacation. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to get a little sun on this chrome dome right here.
Well, you're prepared. I can see that.
Yeah, prepared to put some 50 on there. You know what I got? Actually, I got a sunscreen T-shirt like kids have. You ever seen these things? So last time I went on vacation, I saw that all of the island people were always wearing clothes. And I was like, what? Like, why are they all wearing clothes?
You're supposed to wear clothes.
Because they're always in the sun. And so they're like, I'm not trying to tan to show that I was away on vacation. I'm trying to prevent myself from dying.
Okay.
I was one of these people that was always trying to tan, but I don't tan. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm incredibly white.
You can't tan, Nick. You are white.
That's right. So I bought myself a T-shirt with an SPF to stop me from burning.
Probably a good idea.
Brilliant.
You gotta wear hats, man. Like I'm a hat guy now.
I hear you. So yeah, so the keepers are going. So I think the keepers are Friday, September the 2nd is the deadline. If I don't actually know what happens if you don't pick your keeper and it passes the deadline, because this is the first year for keepers. Suffice it to say, if I come back from vacation and someone hasn't picked their keeper, I'm just gonna pick it for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick what I think is the best player. I'm not going to pick the worst player on the team to screw you over. But
it's kind of fair, folks.
I try. I mean, you know, I'm a person, so, you know, obviously I'm going to try and screw you guys over. But I'm going to try and pick the best player. But if you're someone like Doug or Taylor that has real life quandaries at keeper,
got some decisions to make, boys.
So I would highly advise you to get your keeper in. And again, if you don't care to do it because you don't want to try and figure out, I will do it for you, but up until tomorrow. So that's, or Friday rather.
Friday. Okay.
Friday. What day is it today? The 24th?
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. I know that. What's the day? Is 24th?
Yeah.
26th. Friday the 26th. So if you just want to text me, I can input it for you. Bada bing, bada boom, no problem. Otherwise, I leave it to you. Get it on Friday. Don't leave it till the last minute, Chris. Johnny.
Trying to get it done.
Kevin.
Kevin.
We need you, buddy.
Okay, so we got keepers out and done with. Next.
Well, we're trying to blitz it. So we're trying to set a whole new land speed record. Let's talk about these keepers. Let's talk about them.
We're going to give some people some suggestions on keepers.
Yeah, I came prepared.
And I have not.
Yeah, you know what? I invited him over. I gave him a sauna. Let him steam. Let him relax.
Yeah.
Least I could do. I mean, I'm going to be naming his team. That's another thing that we need to go over.
Hey, you got to be a little bit more. It's public, so we got to be a little bit more with the name. You can't go a little too bananas because it's we're in public here. We're on YouTube, so you got to be really.
Listen, everybody knows that I come up with the best stuff, and I'm always considerate of how it is seen by other people.
Okay. I'm curious.
I'm actually struggling because I'm trying to come up with a PC one, and all I come up with is R-rated ones.
You had a couple good PC ones.
Yeah.
You maybe chuckled about the last one.
Yeah, what was your favorite one?
It was the South African one.
That was my favorite. The South African Queen.
That one threw me
one.
off. Didn't see that one coming.
I like that one. I actually passed up by Liz. I'm like, can I do that one? She's like, I don't know. So we'll see. So if anybody.
Oh, funny story about that.
Yeah,
I might be going to South Africa. Amy got invited.
With your queen.
Amy got invited to go, so I might be going.
No, probably
funny thing right there.
Probably during the draft.
Not during the draft. That's a different story.
Brian isn't going to be available for the draft, boys. He's already plotting his excuses for his losing season.
Yeah. I can't make the live draft, but I will be there in spirit.
Unbelievable. He'll be in Portugal, boys. So anybody that's got an idea, I certainly welcome brainstorming. If not, the front runner right now is the South African Queen. But it's not because you're going to South. That might ruin it, because if you're going to South Africa,
I got South African kids, man.
That's not
like, so. That's kind of.
It was sort of supposed to be trying to allude to your ex-wife that you hate. It's not supposed.
I don't hate my ex-wife. I don't.
Sorry. See, public.
Wrong thing. See what I mean? No.
I didn't say who your ex-wife was.
I care for the girl. I care for the mother of my kids.
What is it? Irreconcilable differences.
That's the word, correct. That's the word we're gonna go with.
Anyway, so let's just move on and scurry along there to the keeper option. So I have all 10 teams here.
Okay.
And I have written down each team's possibilities. And I think what the best exercise would be for us to give each of our own opinions as to who you think the keeper should be.
Sure.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah. We're going to go by team, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with Johnny's team.
Johnny.
That's the one.
Johnny, you paying attention here?
Okay. So I've written down 5 players that are possibilities. A.J. Brown, Antonio Gibson, Kyle Pitts, Mike Williams, and Marquise Brown. Those are your best 5 players.
Okay.
Now, to me, if it was 3 months ago, I would have said it's Antonio Gibson and you don't look back. But there's been some stuff that's been happening, Johnny, that I'd like to make you aware of. And apparently, Antonio Gibson, he's not the favorite child anymore for the Washington Commanders.
The Commanders, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So apparently he's been dropping down the list. He's been fumbling, all of these other things. So he's been relegated to third string duties in the preseason. It's not really looking good. It could just be smoke signals because it's very hard to trust what's going on in preseason. But if you were going to keep a keeper, I'm thinking it's probably got to be A.J. Brown, in my humble opinion.
Well, A.J. Brown is the number 1 receiver in Philly, so you can't go wrong there. But then you also have Kyle Pitts, who is what, tight end 3?
Well, on most people's list, that's where he's at. But the problem is where they normally get drafted.
Where they get drafted, and it's, again, where you're going to feel comfortable with it. But again, I would agree with Nikki on this one, which is very hard. Again, this is the first one we kind of agree on.
The only one that goes the opposite direction 100% of the time is Curtis.
Yes, Curtis is automatically, whatever he says, I'm going to take the opposite.
Yeah.
But Gibson, yes. It
I
could be
always
smoke.
like to lean towards running backs for
Right.
early rounds, but he
Mm.
just I wouldn't be doing Antonio Gibson if I were you, John. So
He has the one running back, and then he has the guy to the running backs. But at least he has the one. If he goes after Gibson, it's in his pocket.
Well-
Gibson could be the guy. He's having an interesting camp.
But this is where the strategy goes. So if he keeps AJ Brown, he's got the 1st and the 10th pick in the 1st round. So he can go running back
Did
there.
he trade his pick?
No.
Oh, no, he has an extra one.
Yeah, he's got Taylor's from last year.
So you got an extra pick.
Remember Taylor traded his pick to get Nick Chubb that didn't help him in the finals against me?
I would have done it too. Should have, would have, could have.
Yeah, so I mean, Johnny can pick up the best running, but there's going to be a good running back for sure available with the 1st pick. And at the 10th pick, he can probably pick up either a wide receiver or running back. So that's where I would go. I would go AJ Brown if I were you, Johnny.
I would say AJ Brown too myself. So Mike Williams, Kyle Pitts, Marquise Brown.
They're all good players.
They're good players, but
yeah.
are they keeper pick? Are they keeper? Unless you're really high on Kyle Pitts, you get your tight end over, and then you just kind of go. But other than that,
I wouldn't do it.
Brown.
I wouldn't do it.
Safe. Brown is safe.
Yeah, you're not realistically with Kyle Pitts. Like, he is ranked right now by most of the prognosticators as the number 3 tight end, but typically he's not going until like the 4th, maybe 5th round, generally, depending on how crazy people want to get in real
But
life
again,
drafting.
but here we go again. Like, this is a fantasy. This is a keeper. So Kyle Pitts for a keeper league.
Yeah,
Long term. You don't keep a tight end. I have no idea. Like, I've never kept a tight end before. But
that's
again,
because it's royally stupid to do so.
maybe, but this could be something new, Johnny, that you do.
That's true. You know what? You like to mess around. You like
Shake
to
it up, Johnny.
Shake it up. Just keep a player you can get 3 rounds later. Why not?
Hey, we're going Risky Rizzy style this time.
Oh,
Okay?
Risky Rizzy. You know what? Risky Rizzy could command his employee to become more risky, or else he's fired. So it could sort of be, a subcontracted out Risky Rizzy.
I guess so. Yeah. Moving on to that.
Anyway,
next.
moving on. That was my time. It's very hard. Okay, so we got Kevin now.
Okay.
Kevin. Okay, Kevin. These are the 5 players that are your best players, okay? Tyreek Hill, Michael Pittman, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, and A.J. Dillon. Now, again, 7 months ago, it was Tyreek Hill, no doubt about it. Okay, he was with Mahomes.
Mhm.
Of course, you're going to keep him. He was a top 3 wide receiver every year, always going in the 1st round.
Yep.
Now he's going to noodle arm, not that accurate, to a Tagliavola.
I take offense to that noodle arm.
You were supposed to take offense to it. So he's going there, and you really don't know if he's going to be the dominant player, the 1A to 1B, or the 1B to the 1A. Who knows? Anyway, and so typically now he's getting ranked right around the same areas as Michael Pittman, a little bit earlier than what Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are, and then A.J. Dillon's obviously running back. I still think it's got to be Tyreek. I don't think you can turn away from it, unfortunately. But it is a risky keeper.
Yeah, again,
It's a risky keeper.
it's not that risky of a keeper. You got to go Hill because it's safe. But unless you want to really go kind of do something a little bananas, you go for one of the Denver boys. But
No, if I was going to go off a hill, I'd go Pittman. Pittman would be my number 2 choice.
Ah,
He's a clear number 1. He already did really well. But again, I don't think you can do it. I think you have to go Tyreek Hill if I'm Kevin. I'm partial to running backs, but you can't go A.J. Dillon because A.J. Dillon is
he's the
way
backup.
yonder down the road.
He's the backup.
Yeah. So you can't go him. That's the best choice.
I like Hill, and if you really want to go off the board, and then you go Cortland Sutton. He's the next best option there.
Don't do it. Don't do it. New quarterback. We have no idea who his favorite's going to be.
Well, it's either Hill or Sutton if you're going to go a receiver. But again, it's either Hill. Whatever you kind of like, Kev.
Listen,
Just research Hill and Sutton.
someone.
Probably Hill. I like
Someone.
It's Hill with Dolphins.
Someone. Where's it? Knows what.
How many trades did you do with Kevin last time and Mike?
I don't know, but
like
you know-
10?
You know what? Kevin really helped me out. He's a very caring guy,
You mean
and I'm trying to help him now.
Yeah. Listen, I hear you. Your farm team is needs to.
Yeah, I mean, I like Pittman a lot this year, but I think that it would be irresponsible of me to direct him that way. But
I'm not going to say no to Hill. Like Dolphin boy is going to.
I think you got to go. I think you got to go Hill, but I'm literally 55-45.
55-45? No,
I'm
I'm a
really
little bit more
55.
higher than that.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
you're at
be-
Miami, so you have to acknowledge your bias.
Listen, even in Miami, he's going to be 1A, 1B with Iguodala. And again, I like both. I don't know who's going to be.
55-45. But I still think you got to go Tyreek. So you got to go Tyreek.
Yeah, Tyreek 80%.
Okay, here we go. Jared,
Jared, you listening?
you got 3.
Dak.
You got 3 players. You got 3
Oh,
players.
he doesn't.
Cowboys suck.
Yeah.
Cowboys suck.
I got a joke for you.
I'm ready.
What does the Dallas Cowboys and the Looney have in common? Hold on. Did I say that wrong?
I don't know what the joke is, so I don't.
What does the Dallas Cowboys and the Looney have in common?
I don't know. They're both out of circulation.
The Looney gives you 4 quarters. Good 4 quarters.
So what's the difference?
Dallas only gives you like.
Did you say what was the difference?
I think so. I think I kind of told it wrong, but it was something like wrong. I was like, hold on.
The essence of the joke was there. Okay, let me try this. I just heard it for the first time. What's the difference between a Looney and the Dallas Cowboys?
The Looney is good for 4 quarters.
The Looney.
There it is.
And you can see who the straight man is on this one.
Hey, I just came to me.
Yeah, Cowboys suck. Okay, so we got Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce, and Javonte Williams. Those are your best bets.
Good players.
Good players.
Good players.
Yep. They're all sort of late first
When
rounders.
did you get Javonte Williams? Did you trade him?
When I made that excellent trade with Rizzy to get Deebo Samuel, I just threw in a bunch of things to try and help Rizzy out build his team for the following year.
Okay.
Because I was, again, fair and kind. And I threw in Javonte Williams, and then Rizzy went and flipped him to Jared.
Well, Javonte is yummy, and then you got Devontae. Well, how's he going to do with Carr? Which that is
His
juicy.
college, that's the thing.
His
It's
college
quarterback
sweetheart. I
on
know.
purpose.
Listen, his
I
college.
think he's going to
sweetheart.
get a ton.
He's going to get a ton, but is he going to get like a ton of like carries like Javonte will? Like this,
But
everyone is
kinda
Javonte. Go on the bandwagon of Javonte's year. This is the year.
Well,
And again, it's running back. But is he going to pick running back? I don't know, dude. It's between Adams and Williams.
here's the hard part.
50-50.
Here's the hard part. Travis Kelce is tight end, the first or second tight end, depending on which way.
I wouldn't even touch Kelsey. I know
No,
he's
no, no,
tight
I
end.
know that,
Boom.
but I'm working through. We're talking to Jared right now. The man is a Cowboys fan. He's lost right now. He's got a little lighter, and he's trying to find his way through that fog.
I know. I heard.
But
he
I've
has-
got a flashlight, and I'm ready. I'm shining it. I'm going to cut through that fog. I'm going to get you there, Jared. Okay. This is what I'm thinking. Javonte Williams has got Melvin Gordon back. Okay, he re-signed back there. Last year, Javonte and Melvin Gordon essentially went 50-50 in all opportunities and carries. It was actually freaky how close to 50-50
It was very close. Yes.
So Melvin Gordon's back. He's not a washed-up potato sack. He's like 29, so he's still got a couple of good years. So if you were to keep him, there's a possibility that he becomes really good later on in the season, or certainly next year. But this year, I don't think he doesn't serve you the purpose of your keeper. Travis Kelce is going to be great, but again, you're not going to keep a tight end as your keeper, especially Kelce, because he's no longer in his prime. He's on the outside edge of it. Devontae just went to the Raiders, to his college quarterback. They're like best friends. In fact, I heard they may be bumping uglies with each other. Don't tell anybody. And so I think there's going to be a ton
Where
of
are you
fun.
reading this from?
I'm reading it. Like, listen, my smut mags are plenty good. Okay?
Yeah.
Where I get my information is none of your business.
I know. I can
Anyway.
see this. Yeah.
So I think that ultimately you're still talking about the best receiver in real life in the league going to a team that's got a piss poor defense, which means, and they're also competing in a division where the Chargers are playing,
They're going to be launching
the
it.
Chiefs are playing,
Yeah.
and then the Denver Broncos are playing with Russell Wilson. So I think that they're going to have to throw a ton to keep up with those guys.
Yep.
I think Devontae is the right play, with honorable mention to Javonte.
It's a close call. It's a 50-50. I say it's a 50-50. You can go either way. If you go either one, you're not going to say, oh, okay, well, should have went the other way. Preference.
It is a preference. That is for sure. I think if I had my preference, and this one I'm more. So with Kevin, I was like 55-45. With this one, I'm more like 75-25. It's Devontae for me. There's just too many signals that Devontae is going to get a crap ton of throws, looks, touchdowns, that the opportunity is going to be there. I think he's going to keep raking.
Javonte is going to get more touches than
projection. You're projecting them.
I am projecting.
Yeah, you're projecting.
I am projecting.
Yeah.
I'm projecting onto you guys that he's going to get more. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he will at some point, but is it going to be this year when they just brought his best buddy back that split literally 50-50? It's only for you to know. Jared.
Good luck with that, Jared.
I leave it in your hands.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got Javonte and you have Devontae. I mean, whichever where you go, I think you know what the right answer is, but carry on, whatever you want to do. Okay,
next.
Moving on.
Chris.
Oh, it's so hard. I mean, are you going to choose
James Conner?
James Conner? It's going to be James Conner, right?
He's a touchdown machine.
I mean, listen, you could go McCaffrey, but really, he's not even as good as Saquon Barkley. So I don't think I would be keeping him. I'd be moving on from him.
Conner is a touchdown machine.
Touchdown
machine. Just saying.
Absolutely. You know what? You've got a lot to think about. And I wrote down there Mark Andrews and DK Metcalf as well, just because I'm trying to give options. But it was just really in case Christian McCaffrey got injured in the preseason.
Just in case.
Yeah. So it's obviously CMC. There's no doubt about that. If for whatever reason he does get injured in the next week,
he probably will.
My next choice would be James Conner.
James Conner is the unsexy.
Really
it's an
boring.
unsexy, very boring pick.
Yeah, he's essentially like Fournette. You know, is no one's going to be sitting there. There's no name recognition, but they're just going to rack you up a lot of points.
They're just going to give it to him.
So I mean, it's obviously CMC. You know, but we gotta at least mention you, Chris. Otherwise, you're going to think, why am I listening to this podcast? Like, what's in it for me? And the answer is absolutely nothing. You're going CMC, but we're trying to fill some content.
James Conner.
Yeah, James Conner. Okay, moving on to Doug. Doug. Okay, now this is where it gets juicy. Okay, we've got a couple of these juicy.
This is soap opera juicy.
Yeah, so we got Cooper Kupp, Najee Harris, Derrick Henry. Okay, so I've been honestly trying to figure out what you're going to do, Doug, and I don't have a clue.
I have no idea either.
Here's the problem. Okay, this is my opinion. Obviously, you have Cooper Kupp, which is the number one wide receiver. Okay, you have Derrick Henry, who is ranked who is right now ranked as like number 3 running back. Arguably, depending on where you're feeling, he's either going 3rd overall or maybe 4th or 5th. But that's just depending on whether people pick wide receiver early, which I'm not a big fan of as far as the philosophy goes. Anyway, Derrick Henry is going to be great. Obviously, last year he was great until he hurt his foot. First time he was injured his entire career. I don't think that that's going to be a problem. I think the problem is when you look at it, that if you're in a keeper league, which we are as a singular player, Derrick Henry is going to do well this year, but he's getting in that age range where are you going to keep him next year if you keep him? And it's questionable because you never know who you're going to pick or whatever the case is, right? But because you have such high-end guys, this is where the issue becomes. Cooper Kupp, again, same sort of deal. Obviously, he's going to be great again. Whether he's the number 1 guy, he's certainly not going to be any worse than the number 3 guy overall at the end of the season, pending injury. But here's the trick. You've got Najee Harris. And so Najee Harris right now is ranked as like sort of the 5th-ish, something like that, running back right now. And he's only heading into his 2nd year. This is where the system comes into play. Do you keep the young stud running back where you have 7 more years of him being great? Or do you essentially put him back in the pool where you're not going to get him back?
Where's Doug drafting?
Doug is drafting 8th, I believe. I should know this.
You should know this.
I should know this. I'm drafting 7th.
I got 5.
Curtis, I think, is 6th. Jared is after me. I think Doug is after me, too.
Mike is 4.
I think it goes, so it's Johnny 1,
Johnny 1,
Kevin 2, Mike 3?
Or Curtis 3.
No, Mike's 3.
Curtis is 4.
I like this. Look at how stupid they are, boys and girls.
Yeah, you guys should know this, aren't you?
I should know this. I created a whole friggin' video about it.
I know, we have it. I know.
Anyway,
Yeah,
needless to say,
whatever.
he's not going to get back to him. Okay,
Maybe.
Cooper Kupp and Derrick Henry will definitely not get back to him. Neither will Najee Harris. That's sort of the trick. Is all of these guys are going to be gone within the first 5 picks, whoever he drops in.
Correct. First 5 picks.
Honestly,
Number 5.
if it was me, I'm picking Najee, and I say this knowing that neither one of them are getting back to me, so this is not self-serving for me at all. I just think that Derrick Henry, I think he's going to be fine, but let's say he's not. He's not your keeper then. So you've kept him as a keeper for this year to essentially not have him again as your keeper. So you're hoping that the players you draft after that are somehow going to be better next year, where that becomes your keeper. With Najee, he's entering his second year already in the mid-level round 1. He's only going to get up as the quarterbacking situation and everything gets better. So my personal choice, based on philosophy for the next 4 or 5 years, would be to go with Najee. But you can't go wrong with either of them for this year in particular.
Well, no, you can't go wrong with either one. Either one's a home run. Mm-hmm. Either one is a fantastic score. Who do I pick?
Here's the truth. Whichever 2 he drops are essentially going to be the number 1 and number 2 picks. I mean,
yeah, they will.
I mean, that's really what it is.
1 and 2, yes.
I mean, when we get to Taylor, I mean, again, if he drops Najee, maybe Najee drops a 3 or 4.
Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't know if they're going to come to me down.
I don't know. Sure. If it was me, I'm picking Najee, because if it was me, I would want the certainty for the next 3, 4, 5 years.
How old's Kupp? Like he's 20.
He's like 28, but he's a slot receiver, right? So he's not. So he's somebody that's. Don't forget, he obviously had an amazing season last year, and no one's going to take it away. But prior to that, he was a late second, early third round pick.
Yeah, he wasn't.
So it's not that he's not good. He's obviously great.
Is he going to repeat like last year?
Yeah. Again, you're not going to go wrong selecting him. But for myself, he's older. He's like 28 or 29, I believe.
Najee's the youngest one. Yeah.
I would personally myself go Najee.
I like Najee, but I like Najee for me. But
self-serving.
Either or, self-serving. I know. But again, either or is a home run. Again, you go for the younger one, or go for Kupp. Henry is a little older. He has 1 year left, 1 solid year left. I think.
For this upcoming season, he can't go wrong with any of the picks.
Nope.
I'm an investment banker, and I'm thinking about your short and your long-term gains here, guys. Invest with me.
Is that your slogan right there? Bam, invest with me.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
Curtis.
Right.
You're up.
Okay, here we go, Dirty Curdy. You got Austin Eckler. You got CD Lamb. You got Aaron Jones. Just as a helpful hint, I like all of these players.
I like them too.
Yeah, I like them all.
I don't like, actually, theoretically, I don't like Eckler too much. I don't know what the big deal is.
Are you listening to this self-serving son of a gun talking? Are you listening to this?
I'm not saying. If he falls to me, maybe I'll get him, or maybe not. But theoretically, he only had 1 year. Eckler only had 1 good year as well.
I'm just going to look straight ahead, and you can feel my pain, guys. Okay, this is what else.
But he's good. I'm not going to lie. He is good. But from CD Lamb, CD's going to have a breakout. And Aaron Jones is a little sleeper this year.
This is what I'm going to tell you. And listen, we know Curtis. He's sitting there listening to this right now going, guys, it's so early. Why do I care about football keepers? I've got so much time and other life things to do. And I'm like, I don't got nothing. It's Austin Eckler. Right now, on all the projections, he's ranked as number 2 or number 3.
You know what?
Player to be picked.
Yes, Austin Eckler. So if we say Austin, he's not going to pick Austin, right? Eckler.
Yeah, either way, Austin Eckler's not coming back to me if he doesn't select him. I mean, I like CD and I like Aaron.
I like
both
CD
of those guys are going to be early second round.
CD's going to get a lot of targets this year.
Yeah,
stupid. He is going to break the record for Dallas this year for receptions. I'm calling it, Jared.
Okay, here's the problem. You just said it already in your statement. He plays for Dallas.
I know. But Dallas only has 1 guy.
That means Dalton Schultz is going to get all the handoffs. They're going to be dropping it down to Tony. and they're not going to be giving him a lot because they just can't find a way to do it. No,
CD's going to get it.
Listen,
It's all CD year. It's a CD year.
It's Austin Eckler, and if I had my choice,
CD.
if something were to happen to Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones would be my second pick, just because of how valuable I think he is going to be this year.
Aaron Jones is going to be very valuable. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Aaron Jones has nobody to throw to. So it's just going to be a lot of dump offs and handing off. Yeah. So I go Austin Eckler. If you disagree, I'm sorry. But if I say Aaron Jones, he can go either way. See, he can go against my second pick of Aaron Jones. And
no, I say if we just stick with Eckler, he's going to say this. I'm not fucking doing it.
I think Austin Eckler is going to be great this year.
I don't think it's going to be great. I think it's just going to be
self-serving.
No, I'm not like whatever, man. Taylor. Let's go to Taylor.
Taylor. Now this is him and Doug are the juicies.
Yeah, but Taylor has more to just ponder. Like
juicy fruit.
Lots of juicy fruit.
Yeah.
Like so much juicy fruit.
Sticks inside. It gets right to you.
So much
juicy fruit.
So much fruit.
The taste. It's gonna move you. Okay, here we go. Justin Jefferson.
Yummy.
Alvin Kamara. Jamar Chase.
Uh-huh.
Joe Mixon. Nick Chubb. As I was writing these, I didn't even include Antonio Brown in there. Okay. I'm looking at this team and I'm honestly curious how I beat you. I honestly, I can't believe it. It actually gave me some PTSD. I can't believe it.
No, I'm not gonna lie. When you see when you see Taylor's team here, it's
ridiculous.
This is one of the greatest upsets in fantasy. Yeah, it is. It's a huge upset.
It's like the Mighty Ducks. When the Mighty Ducks in D2, when they became.
I thought you're gonna go with the football analogy. You switch to hockey.
No, it's the Mighty Ducks. Emilio. See, now it connects because Curtis looks just like the guy from Night at the Roxbury. Chris Kattan.
You hear this?
It's true. I've been telling him this for 20 years.
Interesting.
Pull it up. I
gotta look
Chris
at this.
Kattan.
Chris Kattan.
Emilio.
Maybe if you want to darken his hair.
Anyway, so I was talking to Taylor, and I thought for sure that I was like, okay, well, which one are you keeping? It's Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase? Because obviously in the rankings, those guys are ranked in the top three. Like top three. So they're either 1, 2, or 3, depending on what your personal choice is. But here's the thing. Taylor's thinking what I'm thinking, which is there's lots of wide receivers and there's less running backs. And so because Taylor doesn't have a first rounder, if he sticks with a wide receiver, he's really leaving himself with no good running backs, which is a real detriment. It sets you behind the 8 ball. So you're essentially you're signing yourself up for the 0 RB strategy.
There's the in-depth analysis by Nick right here, really getting into the whole draft picks too. Listen,
it's true. It's tricky. It's tricky. So
tricky.
Obviously, it's a personal choice. I had told Taylor my personal choice between Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
The best player, like 1A, 1B between those two.
They are. Here's the thing. I said initially when he was going to pick between the two, I said for myself again, I would pick Jamar because he's tied to Joe Burrow, who's a far superior quarterback for the next umpteen number of years. Also college teammates. Justin Jefferson, obviously incredibly great, tied to Kirk Cousins for maybe this year, and then who knows who's throwing them the ball after that.
Right.
So it might bottom out, especially from a keeper standpoint. So if I was choosing between the two, I would choose Jamar Chase again for the longevity of it. But let's just go with the alternate theory that he's talking running back. Right?
Then you got to go Mixon.
Do you?
Well, Kamara is fantastic.
Kamara was the number 3 overall running back and has been in the top 5 running back scoring for the last 5 years straight. I know this because they said it on a podcast earlier today, so I'm repeating it for you.
Listen, you can't go wrong with Kamara. You can't go with Mixon, but Mixon's hitting his prime. You know, he's hitting his prime. He's literally hitting his stride.
They beefed up the. I know this is this is the juicy.
This one is.
They
tricky.
beefed up the offensive line. He's behind a superior offense, right?
Great offense.
But Zach Taylor likes to throw the ball a lot, so Joe Mixon isn't going to get as many catches, which really drives up the fantasy points. So then Kamara becomes a much safer and more consistent play.
You know what? It doesn't really matter. You can pick whoever you want. I'm just going to get all the droppings out there. I'm going to pick one of those guys.
Yeah, these are sort of the players that are going to be entering into. Yeah, these are the players that are essentially going to be entering into like my zone into your zone.
You might get Chubb maybe at the end. You're 7. You might get Chubb.
But these players are the players that are entering into my zone. I'm
Yeah,
not saying who's going to come to me, but these are the players.
Mm-hmm.
If it was between the wide receivers, I would personally choose Chase. If it's between the running backs, I don't know.
I go Mixon.
They're literally side by side.
If I go wide receiver, I go Jefferson.
They're side by side.
If I go wide receiver, I'm still going Jefferson. Jefferson is like, he even called up, he wants to be the number 1 guy this year. And so.
Oh, he wants it. Oh, I guess
he really wants to be the
everybody
number
else
1.
doesn't want it.
No, they don't want to be the number 1. But Jefferson.
I get it. I get it.
Called him out.
If I'm choosing a keeper, because Taylor is looking at this player realistically as being his keeper next year as well, right? Because he doesn't have a first-round pick this year, and he's going to be behind the 8 ball a little bit, you got to get some puck luck a little bit. So if you're going receiver, I would personally choose Chase because of that. Again, just they're great. Like literally, they're 2, 3, depending on what you do. Like they're in the top 3. None of them are a wrong pick.
Not a wrong pick.
If it was me, I would personally choose Chase. If I was going wide receiver, if I was going running back, holy moly, those guys are both going to have great seasons.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
I think I might go Kamara.
I go Mixon.
I think I might go Kamara. He's got the higher ceiling.
Yeah.
He's got the higher ceiling.
I go Mixon.
He's got the higher ceiling.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my choice. So I would go, to me, it's between Jamar Chase and Alvin Kamara. You're obviously going Justin Jefferson or Joe Mixon. And I guess Taylor's going to
be like this. Thanks a lot.
He's going to do whatever he wants.
That's like pointless right there.
He's a former champion.
He's
a former champion. He knows what he's doing.
what to do.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what to do.
Okay. Risky Rizzy.
Michael.
Risky Rizzy. You got 2, buddy.
I got 3. Who was the other guy?
Calvin Ridley. Not playing this
No,
week.
he had another guy.
No. Go ahead, pull it up. Oh, you can't pull it up on your phone.
No, I can't.
Don't worry about it. Just trust me. It's DeAndre Swift.
He had another guy.
It's Leonard Fournette. Now, I'm going to say to everybody what I said to Mike just a little bit earlier, a couple days ago. Here's the issue. DeAndre Swift is the more talented player.
Younger.
He's a more explosive player.
Mm-hmm.
He's younger. He's also more injury prone, and he plays for an inferior team.
Fournette got hurt too. He's not going to say injury prone. Fournette's an injury guy too.
Yeah.
He is.
Let me have my thought. Listen, we're the Banter brothers, but I got to be able to say my thought for you to banter it.
Banter off.
Banter on me.
Banter off.
Okay. So he's the higher skill guy, the higher ceiling guy, the younger guy, but he's playing for an inferior team. Okay. Leonard Fournette is the steady Eddie. He's playing for a superior offense. Okay. He's going to collect a ton of dump offs. He's going to be much more consistent, and he's a sure thing. DeAndre Swift, don't forget, was injured halfway through the season. He's been injured his 2 seasons. He's much more of an injury risk. High ceiling, high injury risk. Leonard Fournette, not as high of a ceiling, but a much more higher basement than what DeAndre would be. Now, this goes into the theory. This goes into my theory. Okay. Mike has got the 3rd overall pick this year in the draft. Okay. So Mike is getting one of either the 2 players that Doug drops or one of the players that Taylor's dropping.
Yep.
Okay. This is just the truth. All of those players are superior to DeAndre Swift or Leonard Fournette.
Yep.
And so rolling forward, that's going to be, if everything just chalks out, is going to be his keeper moving on next year. So if I was him, I would personally choose the higher ceiling, more consistent, attached to the good offense, where you can count on it, steady Eddie guy of Leonard Fournette, because he's got the 3rd overall pick. If he had a late first rounder and he wasn't going to get one of these top guys, I would choose Swift. But I would personally choose Leonard Fournette for him for this year.
Well, he's going to pick Fournette because that's his favorite team. It's a very simple answer.
The Bucks?
That's his favorite team.
Since when?
It is. He's going to pick him. I have a weird feeling as well. Yeah. You got your Tampa Bay boy, so that'll be okay.
I didn't know Tampa Bay was his favorite team.
Yeah,
when did that happen?
I don't know. A while ago.
Oh, well, thank you for being so descriptive.
I can't remember when. I just kind of remember.
Do you have a thought or opinion as to?
I like Swift. I like Swift. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a Fournette fan.
Yes, Fournette is boring.
He is. He's a boring pick.
He's James Conner.
But he's not a great pick. I don't think he's I like
boring.
Swift.
It's not going to get you excited at all.
But he's your buck. You can go get your jersey.
It's just going to be a ton of dump offs. It's going to be
and then I think he's going to trip on his feet and like break his leg or something like that. Like Fournette, like he's going to do something like that. Like he's overweight. You know that Fournette is like He's huge. He's like 40% overweight. That's what they're talking about.
He's
a big
burning
boy.
it off. So is Shaquille O'Neal at the start of every year.
I'm just saying, he's not like they get the camp to talk about how he's big.
I hear you. Because he's got the 3rd overall pick, he's got the much more consistent play every game in and game out. If the Lions are behind, and now the Lions, don't forget, have a much better receiving core this year, which means that that DeAndre Swift is not going to be the offense like he was last year.
They're going to go
and
through
they
him.
still have Javonte Williams. Not Javonte Williams, Jamal Williams.
But they're going to go through him. Jamal's for the other.
Again,
for the 3rd.
I would personally go Leonard Fournette. I don't like it. By the way, I don't like it. I like DeAndre Swift a lot better as an individual player, but just not as a fantasy option in that regard. Okay. That's all.
I say go off the board and just say Ridley.
They should go Ridley.
Risky, go Ridley.
You can't even slide him into your IR slot, even if you want.
I know.
It's brutal. Okay. Moving on to Brian.
It's talking about me. Mine's easy. Book it, lick it, and send it.
Mike
Jonathan
Evans.
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. But your backup is Mike Evans because that's all you got. So it's like if Jonathan Taylor, like, I don't know, has like an aneurysm and his head explodes, it's Mike Evans.
Hey, then I'll take it. But mine's the easiest choice because I drafted amazing last year. Jonathan Taylor.
See that, guys?
I drafted Jonathan Taylor. I actually called it on the radio show that he was actually going to be number 1 rusher. And you're like this, ha ha ha, Brian, he's not going to do it. And he did.
How'd Saquon Barkley do last
year? Did better than CMC, by the way. That's 2. I'm just saying. He did. I called it. I'm going to call it again. That he's going to do monster. I'm going to say rushing champ 2 years in a row. Okay. Book it.
The guy that finished number 1 last year.
I made
number 1 again.
I'm just saying,
just so you know, it's not like it's going to change your pick. But the head coach for the Indianapolis Colts said we need to throw it a lot more.
Yeah.
Just saying. He says
they're going to throw it to Taylor because dump out. Oh my God! And dump off the Taylor.
Michael Pittman. This is why I'm 45 for Michael Pittman. Anyway, it's obviously JT.
Mighty Ice. You think Mighty Ice is really going to throw it that much? He can't throw too much, man. He's not that Mighty Ice of old. He's just going to like hang off to Taylor because Taylor is the
feel
machine.
Confident in your drafting. Don't get your panties in a bunch. It's okay. Jonathan Taylor will be just fine.
He is a stud. Next.
All right, moving. Hey, it's just me.
Are you the last one?
I'm the last one. Save the best for last one.
Are you? No, we're missing another one.
No. Count them. I know what I'm doing.
Nick. Okay, let's see who you got.
This guy. How do we even make it?
I made the playoffs. Okay, I made it. I make it.
I made the playoffs, man.
I made it.
Okay, so Dalvin Cook, Deebo Samuel, Stefan Diggs, and then Alexander Madison.
You actually put him in?
I did.
Really? Come on. He's not even worth a mention.
No.
Not even close.
No. Follow me on the bouncing balls.
Nah, come on.
No. It's Dalvin Cook, okay? But if Dalvin Cook, like, I don't know, again, stepped on a landmine, lost his leg.
Or goes to court.
I mean, whatever. If he beats his wife, whatever he does.
Yeah, that's who you want on my team. Yeah. Peter.
Hey, wait for Jonathan Taylor. It's his turn coming. Anyway,
he's a good. Come on,
if something happened before the keeper deadline, where Dalvin Cook was gone for the entire season, in theory, you could add Alexander Madison into that role, and he'd probably do pretty well.
Okay, so that's where you're going.
That's where it's.
But
no, I'm not. But
either way, you're not going to pick him over Deebo and Diggs.
No, but it was an option. I was just being open and honest.
You're not going to. You never.
I'm being flexible.
Not even close.
I'm being flexible.
You just put him in there just because.
Rolling with the homies. Okay, so it's Dalvin Cook with honorable mentions to Deebo and Diggs. But
who's your number 2?
Number 2 would be Stefan Diggs, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but really consistent. He's just number 1 target for Josh Allen.
Oh, no. 2 years in a row he's been doing. Last year he kind of took a dip. This year I think it's going to be too much sharing for Diggs.
I mean, Deebo, obviously, you know how.
Why don't you pick Deebo? You actually got the thing signed. You're not going to pick Deebo? I think you should. This is way off. You should pick Deebo.
I picked him.
No, you pick him on your team. Don't pick Cook.
Listen, Deebo doesn't know.
Like, what kind of a player are you? You don't even have Deebo. You're going to go pick up Cook?
If Deebo knew that he was on my team, he'd obviously do 20% better, but he doesn't.
Nick, pick Deebo.
Trey Lance.
You have the thing over here. You're not going to pick Deebo?
Easy answer.
That's just bananas.
Trey Lance.
Honestly, it's just.
I mean, listen, everybody that's watching or listening to this knows, but unfortunately, I got to explain to this nincompoop over here. Trey Lance is in. We have no idea how efficient he's going to be as a passer. We have no idea how well Debo's going to do, how much they're going to include him in the running game like they did last year. There's just too many odds. I'm not saying that I wouldn't draft him, but as a keeper for this year, I would go for the much more consistent. Like I was telling you with Mike for Leonard Fournette, I'd go with the much more consistent Stefon Diggs over Debo if I had to. But it's Dalvin Cook.
It is Dalvin Cook.
It's Dalvin Cook.
With honorable mentions to Debo.
Yeah. So those are all of the keepers that we just ran through.
Yep.
And those are our choices. So if you listen to this and you want to go with them, great. You want me to help you? Send me a message and I'll put in whatever you want.
just helped everyone. What you just
No,
did
to
it,
actually
right?
input it into the system.
Look at this.
To actually input. I'm a kind and helpful guy. Obviously, I have no life. I'm willing to help other people out.
You are correct on that.
Yep, deed speak.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk a little bit about this upcoming draft, the different philosophies for anybody that, Curtis, that hasn't even started because it's way too early and all of this other stuff. Here's my prognostication. There's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft.
It's a wide receiver draft.
It's a lot of good wide receivers. And there's not a ton of great running backs.
There's some. There's
I know that's
There's
some. It's
great,
not a ton.
but it's not at the running back of last year or the year before. It's a wide receiver draft.
It's very wide receiver. So in the first 2 to 3 rounds,
Draft quarterbacks.
yeah, draft quarterbacks. I can't wait to see who's drafting. Mike's all over it with all this.
Josh Allen, first round, Mike.
Hey,
You have a chance?
don't put it past Johnny. Johnny with the 1st and the 10th, he could do it.
Johnny, you know what? Shake it up.
Johnny
Shake it up. And then everyone's just going to go bananas like this. I need a quarterback.
No, but the thing that stands out for me really with this draft is that there's a lot of sort of what I call plant your flag players in this draft, which is because of the movement that happened last year, there's a lot of teams that typically have high offensive skill players that just have moved on. Okay. And so as a result, it's with these new batch of wide receivers that's coming in is who's going to be the guy. And so you're either avoiding it altogether because you got a 50-50 or a 30% chance of getting it right, or you're going in and you're saying, this is my guy, like you were saying with Cortland Sutton. So I wrote some things down. So you got Green Bay, right? So Green Bay, obviously they traded Devontae. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is gone. So the only guy left there is Lazard. But Lazard really wasn't that great when he was playing there with all of the other guys, right?
Okay.
So you've got all of these other players. So you've got Alan Lazard. You've got Christian Watson. You got the guy that's lighting it up in preseason. I can't remember his name now.
With the rookie?
Yeah, but they're both rookies. But that's what I'm saying is you've got Robert Tonyan. You've got all of these receivers. Someone's going to get the ball. Someone's going to come out of it okay. But who? You are either avoiding it altogether or you're going in.
Well,
so
listen,
you're drafting and
you're planting your flag on Rodgers that he's still a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He's going to throw it. He's going to literally put it into those 3 hands. But he's still going to.
Yeah, but to what degree? Like, is he going to hyper target someone like he did Devontae Adams? That's really what you're hoping.
Green Bay is the exact same situation as Kansas City.
And that's what my next one is, Kansas City.
Look at that.
So they moved Tyreek over to Brian's Dolphins. And now you've got Mahomes. He's obviously great. Who's going to be his main guy? Is it Juju? He just only signed a 1-year contract. He's sort of been crap the last 2 years in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Maybe he has a bounce back.
Contract year.
He's had a contract year last year. Nobody wanted him.
Well,
Signed a 1-year contract.
Doing it again.
They signed Marcus Valdez-Scantling to a 3-year contract.
Really?
They did. Wow. So now you've got the big speedster.
Oh.
Who is he going to be the guy? Is he the new Tyreek? I don't know.
Sky Moore?
Well, no. It could be Marcus Valdez-Scantling. Sky Moore is the rookie, the young speedster. Again, they're sort of comparing him to some degree to Tyreek, but that's just because he's small and fast. It's got nothing to do with it.
One big hit, he's done.
And then you also have it's Scotty Moore and
who for receivers?
There was one other receiver there. Anyway, so are they all just going to get sort of 50 catches and 800 yards each, or is there going to be somebody that steps up? I don't know. But if you're either going to avoid the situation altogether to draft a player you believe in, or you're going to take a lottery ticket on one of those, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't.
Well, right? Those are the mid picks. That's mid round right there, right? Those are the sixth round.
No, Juju's high. Juju right now.
You think so?
People are guessing Juju. Yeah,
I don't think he's going to go with that. Those are all mid round receivers that
they're still this is where if you make the right call, then it's gold. If you don't, it's a wasted pick when you're talking drafting the 5th or 6th. So anyway, this is the Chiefs. Are you planting your flag there? Are you saying, okay, it's just Mahomes and Kelsey and let somebody else make the mistake or get lucky with it? You're right.
They're an offensive team. They're not like a Chicago. Like, what you're going to get out of KC.
Out of Mahomes.
Mahomes is going to throw. Mahomes is going to throw.
But over the last 4 or 5 years, it's been Tyreek, it's been Kelsey. How did McCole Hardman do?
I think that's probably
Robinson. How about Byron Pringle? All of the other guys. Yeah. So who's going to be the guy that becomes his number one? Take a guess. I don't know.
Juju.
There you go. There's a guess.
Done.
Maybe. I mean, maybe, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying there isn't going to be somebody, but who is it? Right? I have no idea.
I just told you. It's Juju.
Oh, well, he told you.
There you go. I just told you.
There you go.
He's not listening.
Rolling on to Denver.
There
we go. Another situation. You got Cortland Sutton. You got Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, it's right? Cortland who's going to be the number one guy.
That's
the nerd. Yeah, I do
Brian
know.
Knows.
I am.
Brian knows.
Yeah, Jeudy. I'm a Jeudy. I love Jeudy, but I have a weird feeling it's going to be Cortland.
Again, weird feeling.
This
is what I'm saying.
Weird feeling.
But where you're looking to draft both of those guys, you're looking in the 3rd round.
That's where that's the case.
And all of the professional prognosticators, you can tell that they know so much because they essentially have like Cortland Sutton at like 22 and Jerry Jeudy at like 23 or whatever.
24,
they have no idea. It's a 50-50 toss-up.
Yeah.
And it's a question. Do you want to spend a 3rd round pick guessing which one it is? And then if you're wrong, you're now trying to go to the waiver wire.
I would say these are value picks. You just have to know where to kind of put and draft these little things. These are still good players, though. Still going to give you some good points.
Yes, but are they going to give you that level of point where you're drafting them? That's the thing. You've got Javonte, like we talked about before. Is it going to be a 50-50 again with Melvin Gordon? Or is Javonte going to be given more of the bell cow role? Why did they sign Melvin Gordon back if they're just going to hand it off to Javonte? I don't know. Like, again, I don't know. I have opinions, but I'm going to keep some of those for myself because some of these players, maybe I want to draft. So why would I tell you guys? But this is just a simple fact that you have to either plant your flag or say, I'm going to move on, right?
I hear you.
New Orleans. You've got Michael Thomas coming back after 2 years. Was the number 1 wide receiver 3 years ago.
Slant King, man. That guy was awesome.
Remember when Curtis had him the next year after that? And he
I'm
was
not
just,
budging.
he was just not.
No.
I'm going down with the ship.
No.
Going
Not
down with
doing
the
it.
ship.
Not doing it.
So you've got Michael Thomas coming back. Is he the same guy that he was 3 years ago? Drew Brees isn't there anymore. Sean Payton's not there anymore. So is he the same guy? Is he not? You've got Chris Olave, the number 1 draft pick, going there. You've got Jarvis Landry, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you've got these 3 guys. Someone's going to get it. You got Jameis Winston, who likes to chuck it around. But who's it going to be?
It's going to be Kamara.
There you go. Kamara. And there we go. Back to Kamara. But he wanted to take Joe Mixon.
I know.
You see the insanity?
But Kamara's going to get the dump offs, I know. But out of those guys, I like Michael Thomas. But again, I don't know. This year, I have no idea what's going on.
This is what I'm saying. Pittsburgh. Deontay Johnson. Chris Claypool.
You mean Mapletron.
Mapletron. And then you have the rookie this year. Oh, my wife is here. Hello, wife.
Hello, guest appearance.
Hello.
Would you like to offer your opinion on the fantasy football landscape?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Which team do you like this year?
Ryan, you're going to lose.
And that is why I'm married.
There we go.
Thanks, Raina Traina.
Yeah, there we go. Dos.
And then you have the rookie that's lighting it up in preseason, which I wish I could remember his name offhand, but I do not.
Off of
Pittsburgh.
Oh.
He's lighting it up. Anyway, he's
yeah.
a second
Pickens.
runner-up.
Pickens?
Yes, George Pickens.
Pickens.
So George Pickens is lighting it up. And so what's going on there? Deontay Johnson was making hay when Ben Roethlisberger was there just tossing the ball all the time. Is that going to happen with Trubisky or with
Pickett?
Pickett? See, I was like Pickens.
Who knows?
Pickens.
Pickens.
Like who knows, right? Like it's a good offensive game plan. They obviously have Najee Harris there and everything.
I
else.
like Pittsburgh. I really do like
But
Pittsburgh.
pick a player. Like which one to try? Like
it's
again,
Najee.
Again, and then I have teams that I have frankly written down as gross teams, which means I want nothing to do with them. I want nothing to do with them. I'm just letting you know. New England Patriots.
Anything
or
with the Patriots. Are you kidding me?
Go trust the running backs. Go trust the receivers. No,
Anything with Bill.
no.
Like, I like Bill.
They're a great team. Awful fantasy. Forget it. I want nothing to do with them.
Awful
Titans.
fantasy.
Titans.
I think they're going to be okay. They're not.
Yeah, I'm
they're
talking
not
only
gro-
fantasy.
No, they're not
Only talking
gross.
fantasy.
They're not gross. You're
Gross.
not even. They're not bottom 5 as your bottom 5.
Gross. No,
Titans are not bottom 5.
No.
No.
Here, no. Listen.
They're not gross. They're,
Fantasy.
they are.
Fantasy.
No, I know fantasy. You still got Tannehill, who's pretty decent. But what do you mean? And then you have that big rookie guy who's just catching everything.
He's not catching everything. He can't make it on the field.
He's the
injured.
guy.
Talking about someone that's fat.
No,
You're
he's
talking
not-
about Treylon Burks is his name.
This guy's the guy. This guy is.
He's playing with
they
the third
replaced
stringers.
Brown. He's not. This guy. They replaced Brown for a reason. For this guy.
Playing with a third string.
This is not gross. Titans are not gross.
Are you listening to this guy? Guys, just so you know.
Titans are mid.
This is one of Brian's hidden gems, just so you know.
I didn't say that's a hidden gem. That's on your gross list. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not
just saying
that
it.
gross.
It's one of Brian's hidden
Okay,
gems.
there we go.
Traylon Burks right now is stinking it up. Okay,
Yeah.
he's playing
He's
with
keeping it for himself, folks.
No. He's playing with a.
That's his
He's
poker face.
Here's
right
the
there.
thing. He's a first round wide receiver.
Mhm.
Okay,
First round.
He's also a fat tub of lard. He is. Okay. So you have this
Oh,
guy
yeah.
where
It's
they're
the
like,
big
"Hey,
thing.
I know, guys. We're gonna trade AJ Brown,
Okay, so
and we're
okay.
gonna draft somebody that looks like him. So that just means we
Sure.
replace him
Yeah.
anyway." Then you have Robert Woods that was traded over there, who's coming off an ACL. He's like 31 years old. He's never been a number one receiver.
He's not a.
He's
He's
a
the other
rookie.
guy's going to be the receiver. He's the two guy.
Can't make it on the field. He's injured.
Okay.
He's apparently got asthma. He can't run around the field. I'm not kidding. Google it. He's got-
He's going to pick him up, boys. I'm just letting you know.
I'm telling you, he eats Whoppers with cheese during halftime. That's all I'm telling you. He's just a big fat man. Okay, so you have
Titans
those,
are not gross.
so pick one then at their price. Good luck. Enjoy it. I'm just saying.
Okay, who's
I'm-
your
I'm
next
just
one?
saying.
Come on.
The Lions.
They're not gross. They're getting better than last year.
Pick
They're
one.
better than last year.
Fantasy. I'm not
Look,
talking about
you
real
had a
life.
couple guys here. You're on to my next
They
two
do
for sure.
have a couple guys. They do. DJ Shark is there. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown there, right? You've got Jamison Williams, their first rounder, coming back
He's gonna be good.
somewhere halfway through the year. This
Yeah.
is a tailor-made Brian pick. He's going to sit
I'm
somewhere
gonna
on his
stack him in
roster.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Stack him in here.
But
he's
not,
going to be good.
He's not going to be. He will be good
He'll be
next year.
fantastic.
Next year. So you've got these guys. You've got T.J. Hawkinson there.
He's
You've got
solid.
You've got Jamal Williams. You've got DeAndre Swift. It's like,
Decent
is
quarterback.
there a main guy? That's all I'm saying. When you're drafting these guys, you want the main guys. Which one's the main guy?
Amon-Ra is going to be a good guy too. He's going to be the guy too.
At the draft position.
He's going to be number one on the receiver for that team for sure.
Maybe.
No, not maybe.
Maybe.
Book it. Book it.
There you go.
Okay, so
You book it.
Lions are not gross.
Jets.
100% gross.
Jets.
Anything that Jets.
We've got your guy from last year on there.
Who? Corey Davis?
Corey Davis.
He's
Corey Davis. You got Elijah Moore.
I like Elijah Moore.
I like Elijah Moore.
I like Elijah.
You've got the first round pick. Something Williams.
Corilla or
Grant
Prowse?
Williams. We're stupid. Grant Williams?
No.
Grant Williamson?
Williamson. Some
Doesn't even matter. Listen,
Jets suck.
so you got three of them. Okay, you've got the number one draft pick. Okay.
Brees Hall.
Okay, you got Brees Hall.
He's good.
Sure. You also got Michael Carter there.
Michael Carter will be the number one guy.
So
But
here's-
I think it's going to be the
so-
same thing as Denver last year with the
this is
Javonte.
the
And
point. You see,
thing.
I like when you argue with me because your arguing always actually bolsters my argument, which makes me the winner, but you still think that you're winning.
you
This is
think
why
that
we-
it's funny that you're the winner of the
Yeah,
argument.
winner.
That's just
So
hysterical.
you've got Brees Hall, okay, who right now, if you want to draft him, it's going to cost you a fourth round draft pick. But you just said that Michael Carter is probably a starter.
I that's what I heard.
Okay, so which one of
The
those?
bird
So
surgery.
which one of those running backs at the draft position are you going to want?
I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all draft
Exactly.
positions. Don't
Then
like
you have
with the
Elijah
fall.
Moore, who did really well for a few games last year.
Mhm. I agree.
When Zach Wilson, the MILF lover, hubba hubba, wasn't throwing the ball. That's when he had his best games. Okay. Now he's there.
Mhm.
You've got the first round, the very first overall, the second overall wide receiver that was drafted this
Yep.
year. Who's going to be the main guy?
I don't know.
Exactly.
It's going to be more.
I
of a-
don't
I'm
know.
not gonna-
And then, even if you said, I know who it's going to be, who's throwing him the ball? The mother lover. The mother lover. You don't want those guys. Gross team. And how about the Jaguars?
Oh.
How about the New York Giants? When I say all of these, so when you say these things, these are what I'm saying is someone's going to be getting the ball, but you're just guessing, and I don't want to guess. I just don't want to guess. And so when you add all of these things up, it's like a third of the league that are either in these gross teams or the Planet Flag teams.
I'm going to put another gross
Very
team in
tricky.
there.
Let's do it.
Seattle.
Seattle. There's another one. So
Seattle's
you
not
got
going to do too much.
DK Metcalf, monster.
He's the only guy.
He's Lord Humongous.
He is Lord Humongous in India.
Yeah, he's Lord Humongous, and you got Tyler Lockett. Now Tyler Lockett did have 2 good games.
You got 2 good receivers, but you got no quarterback.
But again,
the quarterback is
are
like
you drafting?
nowhere.
Are you drafting them at cost?
You have
Then
to
you
draft
have
those guys.
Ken Walker. You have Rashard Penny.
Those are hurt, and Rashad Penny.
You know what I mean? Like it's not that the players aren't good. The players individually are good, but are you going to draft them at the position that they are going to go?
I think you got to go back at the quarterback. You got to look at the quarterback if you're going to look at these players and say, so who's a Seattle guy? Well,
it depends.
Who's a
Drew,
Seattle guy?
it's Drew Lock, or it's Geno Smith. Yeah, actually the noise was very applicable to how both of them are going to do.
Yeah, and so that's exactly. Don't touch no one.
But
no
again,
one from Seattle,
but
unless
again,
it's DK.
But DK Metcalf, super
Chris, pick
talented,
DK.
super big, super talented, super big, super fast. They have to throw it to somebody.
They got to throw it. It's only to him. Well, yeah.
You know, but it's. Are you going to, when you're drafting these guys, they're going to be drafted as like your number 1 or number 2 wide receiver, and is that what you want on your team to ride through the season? Because they're not hidden gems where you're drafting them in the 10th round. This is the thing. So when you're going through these players, you have to make determinations because the names that were attached last year are all moved around in different. Tyreek Hill, as an example. He's not the Tyreek Hill of last year, but what is he this year?
He's going to evolve. They're going to do some neat things with him.
I don't know.
Oh no, I do. I know. They're going to put him in different positions. They're going to put him in different things. He's just not going to be the number 1.
They're going to put him in different positions. They're going to put him in different.
They're going to give him the ball in some unique positions. Yes.
Yep. It's very tricky. It's a very tricky year this year. Not really. It's not really tricky. I mean, it's fantasy football. You don't have to be smart to do this, but there's going to be people that draft players and they're going to stink up the joint and they're going to be like,
yeah, we had last year. We had a couple sinkers last year.
Yeah, like Saquon Barkley.
Again, did better than CMC, so we can't really say that. You can't say that. Yeah, I did better than CMC.
Yeah. Oh, mailbag.
Oh, mailbag time.
We got one question.
Ooh, one. Okay.
One question. 1 second. Let me just reach into my mailbag here.
Yeah.
The question is from Jared Sharon. The question is, will there be a weekly limit on tight end pickups? Asking for a friend.
Good question, Jared.
It's a very good question. It's a strange question. Most people don't usually concern themselves with tight end pickups. I mean, I don't know why that question would be appropriate.
Well, I think last year we had some issues with people racking up tight ends and kickers at one point.
Well, the kicker was
situation?
just risky. The kickers was not me.
The kicker was an interesting where,
I tried to do the quarterback. Remember when I was playing Johnny?
Quarterbacks and kickers.
But I left him a backup. I left him one backup and he beat me. And I learned from my mistake and I went tight end hardcore. Here's the answer. No, there will be no limit. That's not the way it rolls.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, you do whatever you want. You know, it's all moral. It's all for fun. You know, it's all this other stuff. It was pretty funny. You know, Jared, God bless his little heart. He just sat there and just waited till, it was like 1:12:59. I'm like, I have to drop these players. I can't hold on to them. And so I dropped him and he picked somebody up. He was right on the ball with it. But no, there'll be no limits.
You think he's going to pick Dak this year? Quarterbacks,
yeah.
Quarterbacks, you can get anything. So
Well, you know what? Here,
if all these quarterbacks are like, you can get anything this year for quarterbacks. Like, there's a really good quarterback class.
I feel as though I'm like one of those people like, what is it from the FBI, like Manhunter? What is it, like the FBI profilers?
Oh, yeah.
And so every year that I'm in this league with you, mother effers, I am picking up little details on what you're going for and what type of people. And you know what I realized about Jared this year? I realized this in the offseason.
What is that?
First time. Jared likes to do the no running back strategy.
Ooh.
I've wondered this for years. I played with him in multiple leagues,
okay,
and I've always wondered why his running backs suck.
Inside scoop, folks. Check this out.
Yeah, no kidding.
This is insider with Sheffman.
Yeah, I'm like Criminal Minds. I should just call Jared the unsub. That stands for unknown subject, by the way, if you didn't watch Criminal Minds. Anyway, so I've always wondered why Jared was really loaded at wide receivers, but why he was so pathetically thin at running back. And I never understood it. And I like, and then it came to me as I was starting to do my initial prep. I'm like, oh, Jared does the no running back strategy, which for people that don't know, generally speaking, it's you just go hard on quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, whatever it is. And you just in the later rounds, like when you're talking like 6, 7, 8 sort of thing, you just start picking up backups, wishful thinking running backs, because running backs typically get injured a lot. So, and that's what he's doing.
That's true. Running backs get injured the most out of all these three. They do.
They do. But they're also the thinnest position. So if you get one of the top 10 or 15, the difference in points between those top 15 and like the next 15 is dramatically more than the wide receivers.
So what are you saying? Stack up on running backs, Nick?
It depends on your philosophy.
I think it all depends. It's just running backs down your throat. 7 rounds of running backs.
Well,
straight.
If Brian tells you it, you know that it's a winning strategy.
It is
a winning strategy.
How many running backs do we have in our league? We're at 2 plus the 2 flex, so that's 4 plus your backups.
Well, you got 2. You have 2 that you have to play.
2. You can go in the flex. You can have
2
4 right at the
there's 2
get-go.
flex. Yeah.
You go 4 right at
running back,
and you got 5, 9 running backs. People drafted.
Fun fact.
Bank it and then start trading them to people. I'm just saying. So that's a neat strategy.
So fun fact.
That's the Brian strategy.
I was in another league that I left 2 years ago.
Rizzy.
No. This is not the league I'm in now. I was in another league with Jared's cousin. By the way, back-to-back champion in that league before I left. I left as a champion.
You?
Yeah. I was so dominant, but I kept collecting running backs that were injured to the point where he was the commissioner. He was such a dick. That the commissioner was texting me and telling me that I had to put running backs back into I had to start releasing them because it wasn't fair that I had so many running backs.
Did you hear that, folks?
So many running backs. I did. I had so many running backs. He said, next year, I'm putting a limit on how many running backs.
You're just playing within the rules. I understand that.
Yeah.
But
just playing within the rules.
So that's a neat concept.
Plus, it's easier to understand backup running backs than it is which receiver is going to get. Like if Justin Jefferson goes down, you could be like, oh, well, I'll just go collect KJ Osborne. But maybe not. It doesn't really work the same way.
No,
but with running backs, it's a lot easier, right? So if Nick Chubb goes down, you want Kareem Hunt. Like it's just really, if Kareem Hunt goes down, you want Dearness Johnson. Like it's really simple.
Speaking of Kareem Hunt, he wants to get traded.
He does want to get traded.
And they don't want to trade him.
Yeah. So guess what? Not going to get traded.
It's going to get interesting there.
Yeah.
Well, anything in Cleveland is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
It's all hands-on there.
Yeah, it's the juju, right? Yeah. It's not the Juju Smith-Schuster. It's just the juju.
It's just wonky over there.
It's kind of like the serial. It's kind of like the Bill Cosby massage rapist moral thing. They traded so much, gave him the biggest contract in NFL.
I don't get that.
It's not good vibes. It's not good vibes.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Give him the 3rd largest contract. He doesn't even play a year and a half. And
this I can tell you with 100% certainty. Okay. So Deshaun Watson is out for 11 weeks,
Correct.
Which actually becomes 12 because there's a bye.
Yeah, so it actually comes back on the 13th.
Yeah, so he comes back essentially just in time for the playoffs.
And he plays the Texans the first game.
Yeah, it does. So here's the thing, though. So Amari Cooper is a player that I can tell you right now will not be on my team, and it's not for any other reason. But like,
I don't like him either.
But technically, if you were to have him on your roster come playoff time, he would get a massive boost up. Should Deshaun Watson come back?
Yeah.
But I just want nothing to do with that.
I do. After week 13, 14, Cleveland players are okay if he comes back to 4.
I'm not very moralistic about most things. It's just a little gross going on there. I don't know.
You got Dalvin Cook. You got a wife beater.
No. Alleged. Nice. It's alleged. Hey, nothing's been proven. And it's not like he's an alleged wife beater of 37 women that he settled 35 of them out of court.
I think we're going to end it with that one right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was a fun one. I think we should do this more often. I like this.
Well, like talking to each other, but like with the screen right there. Yeah. You just want to come back to the sauna.
I do.
Yeah. We hope you had a wonderful time listening to the very first episode of the 2022 Banter Brothers. Please join us whenever we choose to do it again.
Love you. See ya. Oh, I guess I should do the auto.
The auto.
The auto. Yeah.
Not an innie, but an auto.
It's an auto. Hold on.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about these things. See ya.
Well, that concludes this episode of the Banter Brothers with your host, Brian Paulo, and his co-host, Nick Johnson. Make sure you tune in each and every week where they'll be ripping up the airwaves, delivering you the fantasy football highlights. Again, this is